We shall now move on over to Fresh Perspectives. Here, the well-known hostess is Dr. Smita Siddhanti. Today in our studios, she brought two wonderful guests who gave us special and very touching messages on assisted living. Let's find out the details. Please stay tuned.
Namaste. Welcome to Fresh Perspectives. Today we are going to provide fresh perspective on a topic that's dear to all of us. And it is related to a practical issue in our life of aging. Aging is a reality that we are all going to face as we are journeying on this earth. And as we know that the population in America is going to be larger, the aging population will be larger in the coming decades than the younger population. And some of us who have come from India are first time facing this issue because they are aging here first time. So it's a different world, and in India most people have lived in at least 3 generations living together, grandparents and the children, and that model is also disappearing there in a nuclear society, as we are seeing. So how do the Indians here cope with this new issues that are coming up in their lives of taking care of their older parents and their own planning of how they're going to age is an issue. So some people have thought a little more about it. The entrepreneurship angle is what I wanted to focus on what that means to the businesses that are coming up, the ideas that are being propagated in the business world and the new entrepreneurs that are coming up. And I've come across a few of them, and I thought it would be a good idea for us to raise this issue, think about it, and how these services and that people are starting to provide are helping. So I have known a couple of my friends who have started either a community of homes in New Jersey or Florida and invested in that. And then I've also heard of a good friend of mine who started a company here to provide language services to those who go to hospitals and need that linguistic thing. I have 2 very interesting guests with me who have thought this through more than some of us have. And Gary Hughes, who has been in real estate for a long time, has taken a turn more towards this angle, and Gary would give his perspective and ideas and thoughts on that. And Ranjit Kohli, who has started a company called Paragon, and that is going to serve us in the coming years. So let's hear from both of them, and let's have a discussion that puts some perspective on where we are going in this. So Ranjit, if you want, you wanted to start about the bigger context, so let's go with that.
Okay. Thank you for having me, Smita. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. My background is working with older adults. I've been working with older adults and housing issues for about a little more than a decade. So
you're talking to me.
Oh, yeah. So the approach that I'm trying to take with this is rather than being a real estate agent who's marketing to older adults, I'm trying to be someone who's very knowledgeable about older adult issues and taking that to real estate. Because so many people, probably 90 or 95% of our aging population, really wants to stay in community rather than be in some form of congregate living, assisted living, independent living, nursing home. So how does one stay in community, and how does one age in community and maintain a meaningful life during that cycle? And that's where I come in with real estate.
So there is a trend that I'm hearing that unlike people used to believe they go in assisted homes or in old aging homes, people want to live where they're living. There's an increasing trend.
Yes.
So when you say within community where they're used to living.
Yes.
Okay.
Among people that they're familiar with and who care about them and with whom they can interact, as opposed to the concept of just aging in place where you just stay in that house. And then what happens to you? You get isolated and depressed. And
so you have thought about that issue and have come up with services related to that.
Yes.
So
So-
let's talk about that, and Ranjit,
Sure.
tell
No,
us a little
please.
bit, and
Love-
then we'll come back to.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Go ahead,
Well,
Ranjit.
Smitha, thank you for having me on the show, and Gary, and it's great to be here. And, we talked about entrepreneurship and aging, and just the community. So for me, I always say, if you do what you love, you're not working.
Right.
And that's what I've been looking for. I was semi-retired for a little bit and trying to figure out what I would do next. I spent some time in India. My parents moved back for some of these reasons that we're going to be talking about now. They are a little bit older. My father's now 81. My mom is 71. And they felt that living in the U.S. would be difficult for them as they aged. Having that same quality of life or being able to get around. And I know Gary has a lot of experience in this area, but one of the things or challenges that seniors face, they feel that they're almost locked in. So whether it's in their own home or they go to a community, that community, if it's only got older people, in some ways it's good to have the like-mindedness. But by the same token, there's not enough stimulation often. And we certainly hope we can talk a little bit about some of the impact of social activities and exercise and the positive things that has for seniors and in aging. But for me, it was really seeing my parents kind of go through this and say, listen, I'm in India, and many of you out there are from India, and if you're there, you can have a driver, a cook, a maid, et cetera. They have those conveniences available to them there, whilst here, it's a lot harder. And then for someone in that intersection, you have the parents, you have our generation, and then you have our children. How do you find that balance? Because we wind up being often the caregiver, and we've got jobs and lives and things to
So
look at.
tell us what you're doing to
So
solve that issue.
I should go to that point. We have tried to really create services that serve that community. So we provide initially companion care. And companion care meaning chore services, so things like you need someone to come drive you to a doctor's appointment. You
Right.
want someone to come to your home and maybe cook a meal for you. Things that you could do, but now you can't do as well.
So you're going to provide all the services? You're
We
providing cook,
provide-
you're providing a driver?
Absolutely.
I thought
We
you're
provide-
providing also nursing.
We provide all of that. So on the nursing, it's what we're moving toward. So our phase one is to start with companion care, and we are already providing that. Phase two is to go through licensing, which is what we're doing. So hopefully in about 60 days, we'll be through licensing and start providing what's called personal care.
Okay.
So that's assisted, basically activities of daily living. And then from there, we graduate hopefully to skilled nursing. So we can really provide you with a comprehensive or sort of a continuum of services that help you as you age.
And there was a word you used that aging is not the right word, growing up.
growing up, I had said that,
Yeah.
from the moment we're born, when we're young, we call
Right.
it growing up. And then as we get older, we call it aging, and suddenly that's negative, but growing up is fun. We're both doing the same thing. We just continue to grow up throughout our lives. Our needs change, our emotional needs change, our physical needs change.
So what are your services that you're providing? I mean, this was very good to know that you have a series of services.
Yes.
And what would you suggest?
Well, one of the things that I do in particular is sit down with a family or with a person. So if you're what I call a young senior, by the way, the definition of seniors is so broad,
Right.
from like 50 or 55 through the end of your life, that you spend half of your life as a senior. So I only have two categories. You're either senior or pre-senior.
Okay.
So I work with seniors, older adults, find out what it is that you want and how are you doing physically. And then we go and look for that place where you can continue to age. You
So when you say want, is what do you want in next 20 years of your life?
That's
For
right.
somebody who's 50, you'd say. So how
Yeah.
do you see your next 30 years?
Or someone who's 65.
years, okay.
What's that next 15 or 20 years going to look like for
Right.
you? And so what does your structure need to look like so that the house functions for you? Far too often, we ask people to function in the house.
I see.
So what do the floorings need to look like? What should the lighting be? What texture should the walls be? What kind of entryway do you need? All of these things. Some people may need lower countertops. Some people may need higher countertops. Some people may need a sink where they can eventually sit to do dishes or to do preparations. There are a lot of issues that come in, physical issues that come in to being able to age successfully in community. And so that when it's time for Rajith to come in and begin to provide some additional services so that that person can stay there. The house, the dwelling is already set up for that.
So do people know that early in life that what they really will be 10 years from now or 20 years from now? What their needs are? I mean, what do you find out? Hard to imagine that.
Very often they don't know, and that's why my service is valuable, because I can sit down with a person. If diabetes is an issue and it looks like you may be dealing with peripheral neuropathy, I can figure that out and talk to you about the flooring and those kinds of things. If macular degeneration or low vision is an issue now, how do we light the house so that you can stay there longer? Most people really don't know themselves what the next 10 or 15 years may look like. But through discussion, I can help them work through that.
So there's a cultural issue too that we had talked about, that the Indian would be needing, or they are used to a certain way of living. So what do you have any thoughts on that?
I think that's
quickly?
just perfect. I mean, I think what Gary's talking about, we can't provide a solution for every challenge or problem that you're facing. We try to partner with people like Gary. We think that we have a good sort of care management plan, or life management plan, if you will. And one of the things that we do is we have an RN who can go in and sort of act as a geriatric care manager. And I'll get to your point in just a second.
We're about to end.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But, one of the things we do is we try to culturally match. So sensitivity, for instance, we have a situation where if you're Indian, you go in and we try to match the caregiver with that, and we sensitize them to the environment, which is very important. If you have a puja room, how that's to be respected,
Right,
and that's
right.
vital.
And then there's this whole issue, and we're discussing about dementia that's happening in our uncles, mothers, and things like that, that they don't know how to deal with that. And so there are issues that you have thought that through and are dealing with.
And that's where, like what Rajith is talking about, becomes so important. It's not just the delivery of care. It's delivering care in a way that exhibits cultural competence. Because what happens with a person, say, with Alzheimer's, is they march back in time. That is, what happened to them in 1950 is more accessible as a memory than what happened 10 minutes ago. So for someone who can understand their life at that point in time, that's very important.
Thank you. I'm sorry, the time is limited, but there's a lot to talk about this. This is just scratching the surface for those of us who haven't thought about this, and the reality of life is that we all think we are immortal, and this journey will never end. But it's good to think further and future and look through, and I'm happy that you could all come and get us to start thinking about it. I hope you all, viewers, gain some perspective or some thought that you can give to your next few years to come. So thank you for being with us. Hope you enjoyed the discussion, and there is that reality that we all have to look to the future, plan for the future, and I think this is just part of that. So hope to see you all next time. Next time we're going to talk about the young entrepreneurs. While I'm looking at these businesses that are coming up, we want to see what the younger people are thinking. So thanks again, and have a wonderful day, and hope to see you next time.